My baby is in the rain. He said, baby, don't go. Baby, don't leave me. Baby, please. Like, he is in the rain with his boombox. Y'all want another theory that y'all didn't ask for? Okay, well, here it is. Did you like my present? Now you can carry a part of me with you, friend. No. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Sleepybug. If you are returning, I miss you, Sleepyhead, and if you are new here, it is so nice to meet you, cutie pie, and welcome to the hub of all things oh so cozy, oh so sleepy, and oh so sweet. So today should be our last video for 14 days with you, from days 1 through 4. We made it through all the days, but now we have to go back and get the crazy stuff. Yeah, we got all the crazy things for day 1 and 2, but we're gonna go back and get the crazy stuff for day 3 and 4. So we're gonna see what other shenanigans we can get into. I'm excited. You're excited? Let's do it. So I've been going back to go through to get all of I had to basically go through and do the whole first and second day again so I can make sure that like we're getting the ending we need to. I'm scared. Are you all right? Don't overwork yourself, Sleepy. I should apologize. I didn't mean for this to happen. I should have helped you out more. The choices you're making and the path you're going down, it's not what No, never mind. Look, you have to know. I can't keep doing this for you, Sleepy. I can't keep preventing you from getting my bad end. Oh, you could keep going? Okay. You won't like what happens. You won't like it. Who is it? Who is it? It's not as kind as me, not as soft or lenient. It will sense your fear and feed off of it. Even if you give it a small dose, it won't. It won't. It won't. See? It's scary, and it won't hold back. It deserves to rot in here with me. It deserves to die. Ooh. It deserves to drown in its own filth and carnage, choke on its regrets until it's nothing left but a husk. That disgusting abhorrence deserves to something in the darkness void of any light or happiness. It doesn't deserve to be in the light. It doesn't deserve to bask in your radiance, to see how much you'll something a smile. It doesn't deserve to feel your warmth in eternity and damnation or solitude. For something feel these decrepit emotions, for making me think these thoughts and act this way. I scared you because of it. I should kill it. I want to kill it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh no, not the dots getting. I'm sorry. Did I scare you again? I can't help it. Being here for so long. Everything takes a toll on you. It makes me feel this way. Forces me to. I won't hurt you. Don't worry. I'll protect you from it. It doesn't deserve you. But I do. 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 Do I? I love you, Sleepy. I love you. More than it ever could. More than anyone ever could. They wouldn't do this for you. No one would. Only me. Your light. Your light doesn't deserve to be here, tarnished by what happens in here. Sorry. Look, all I want is for you to stop trying to go down this path. If you really want to see me, you don't need to keep making the wrong choices. I'll always be watching you. I'll always be with you. And I'll always protect you from the people who try to take away from me, from my bad ends, from it. There's nothing that will keep me from you. But if you really want to continue meeting me here like this, I won't stop you. I'll hold back the inevitable. But just know, there will come a time when I won't be able to bring you back to this place again. There's a limit to how often I can... No, never mind. I don't want to worry. Alright. I'm gonna send you back again. Okay? So, promise me. Promise me this time. You'll listen to my warnings. I'll help you as much as I can next time. So don't concern yourself with meeting me here again. I'll find a way to meet you instead. Okay. I already can, anyway. Have you figured it out yet? Promise me, Sleepy. Promise me we won't meet here anymore. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is new. Oh, this is new. Guess what I'm about to do? Yeah, I'm about to do it again. That was 30 minutes of me figuring out what to do. So, we are going to, we're going to start from day 2 with the things that we missed. So, we're going to walk home in the rain because we're mad at Ren. This is stupid. Forget it. It doesn't really matter what he was doing. Ren shouldn't have taken over 20 minutes to buy an umbrella, even though we already know why. This is just ridiculous. Besides, it was getting cold and the wind was starting to pick up. If I stay out here any longer, I'll probably get swept away. Violet's flower shop should be somewhere nearby. Maybe I could wait out the storm there. I mean, it was only a few blocks away, and she did tell me that the spare key was under one of the flower pots in case of emergency. Shout out to Violet. And this was kind of an emergency, right? Just as I psyched myself up to sprint towards the next overhanging roof across the street, a cold hand wraps around my wrist and scares the absolute crap out of me. Yanking back, I instinctively turn around in a panic before meeting Ren's worried blue eyes. Angel, where are you going? You shouldn't be running anywhere in this weather. Jeez, Ren, what took you so long? I almost want to cuss him out for taking well over 20 minutes just to buy a single umbrella, but the genuinely apologetic look on his features made me hold my tongue. Sorry, I ran into your friends from earlier, which took forever for me to shake them off. Ren is like, please stop getting the bad ending. For the love of God, please. And I'm like, no. Ren, you took way too long. I honestly thought you left me at this point. Huh? Why would I? Look, it doesn't matter. You've already wasted my time and now I'm all soaked. I'm just gonna head home. Thanks for today, but After waiting for so long, I'm no longer in a good mood. Oh, wait. He grabs my wrist again, but this time his grip was much stronger, almost as if he wanted to keep me here. Turning to face him, I barely give him more than a second to explain himself before I decide to walk off. I was just you wanted that Haruko plushie from earlier, right? I bought it on the way back. I really didn't think I'd take that long, but as if to prove a point, he offers me a bag from under his arm. And true to his word, there was the plushie I was eyeing earlier, all wrapped up in a plastic casing to stop it from getting wet. It almost pulled at my heartstrings, and I would have found his consideration endearing like usual. But something about seeing Ren in that cashier from earlier still rubbed me the wrong way. Oh yeah. Is this our petty route? I love it. Make him work, girl. Make him work. For all I know, he could have been chatting her up while she wrapped the toy. No, who hurt us? Hold on. In this playthrough, who hurt us? Like, why are we so, like, paranoid? Yikes. No, it's fine. You keep it. I just want to go home, okay? So, please let go of my arm now. As if finally noticing his grip on me, Rin hesitantly lets go of my arm. Not before gently placing the bag in my arms for me to take and offering me a pitiful smile. Really, I was just buying this for you. I'm really sorry it took me so long. I merely offer him one final nod of my head before I turn on my heels. Whether or not he perceived that as me accepting his apology was up to him. You really going? Wait, He reaches for my sleeve this time, and I feel him give it a faint tug before he lets go. Almost as if he remembered my words from earlier. Please don't go. Please stay. I'll buy you something else. What are your favorite snacks? Or do you want another cake? There's a convenience store nearby. Or maybe some manga? We can go to the library instead. Was Rin seriously putting up that timid act again? After all this time? I don't even bother turning around at this point. Angel, please. But my baby is in the rain. He said, baby, don't go. Baby, don't leave me. Baby, please. Like, he is in the rain with his boombox. He's in the rain with his boombox, singing the R&B hit. Baby, please don't leave me. You the star of my life. Like, he is in his R&B. Like, what will we call him? In the comments, somebody please give Ren a R&B artist name. What would Ren's R&B? What would Ren's R&B? What will we call him? What would we call him? You know how we got like Tank, you got Lloyd, you got Mary J. Blige. Like who? Like what would his name be? I need to know because like he. Girl, I miss you. Like what would he be? Okay, I'm just let me know. I'm excited. Sleepy. His voice gets drowned out by the rain as I hurriedly run back home, using his bags as a makeshift umbrella. Ooh. I'm so scared. Slamming the door shut, I immediately throw the bag in frustration, before picking it back up and ensuring the contents inside were still okay. After all, while this poor Haruko plushie didn't deserve such horrid treatment, Rin sure did. Placing it back on the table, I decide to change out of my wet clothes and take a quick shower. There was no use in making things even worse by catching a cold. I could even check to see if Moth was online later and vent to them. I really want to scream right now. I'm scared. I am concerned with the safety of myself at the end of day 2. Once I was finished with my shower, I noticed how the plush was no longer on the table where I left it. Strange. Did it fall off? I shuffle around the kitchen island to investigate when the power suddenly turns off. Is this what Ren warned me about? Is this what he told me not to do? And then I'm hard-headed, so I did it anyway? Wait, will you learn?
What will you learn? What will you learn? That your actions have consequences!
Great. Now there's a blackout too? Huh? In a pathetic attempt not to bump into anything, I fumble around for the cupboard under the sink to try and find some spare matches and candles. But as I do so, I barely make out the sound of my front door creaking open. I think we actually did these two choices. So now that we did our scary choice, let's do we did these two already because we went to his apartment. That's how we ended up waking up at his place at day 3. And then we asked where he wanted to go and he said my apartment's around the corner. So we're going to go back to my place, babes. Your apartment? Oh, your apartment? Sure. It's close by anyway. I can walk you home. The image of me taking a nice warm bath after being out in this weather was too hard to resist, so I end up eagerly stepping under Ren's umbrella before heading back home. Rennykins! In the end, Ren ended up walking me back home. Yet, despite being the one to hold the umbrella, he still got wet because he offered most of it to me. Ren really was considerate, but it didn't stop me from feeling bad whenever I saw the wet patch on his shoulder. Eventually enough, my apartment entrance comes into view, and I suddenly wish that time would slow down. I wasn't sure why, but I was enjoying my time with Ren, even though I still didn't know much about him. All that I did know was that he was very attentive when it came to me, and that he was willing to put in the effort to get to know me better. Which, in hindsight, was far more effort than Teo ever put into our relationship. Oh yeah, in this one I said that Teo was my ex. Because he seems like he would be my ex. No matter how short-lived it was. Glancing back at the pink-haired man beside me once more, I watch as he casually twirls the umbrella in his grip and shoots me a playful smile. It seems as though he shared the same sentiment as me, judging by how his feet started slowing down the moment we ascended my apartment staircase. With a smile, I turned to face Ren, only to realize that he was already looking at me with an all-too-familiar soft grin. So, here we are. Thanks for going out with me today. I'm sorry I got cut short because of the weather. I really should have looked at the weather app before leaving, huh? It's fine. Maybe we could try this again another time? Preferably on a day without rain. Yeah, I'd like that. We stand around at the entrance for a while before Ooh, what am I going to do? There's options. No! Lean in and kiss him on the cheek, thank him for walking you home, enter your apartment without a word. Let's kiss him. Before I can stop myself, I take a step closer to Ren and gently pull him closer by the front of his cardigan. He seems surprised by my actions with how wide his eyes get, but it doesn't stop me from leaning forward and pressing a soft kiss against his lips. Hey, listen, he slept in our bed. We slept in his bed. Oh wait, no, not in this route. We already kissed. Is long story short. We already kissed. The taste of cherry lingers when I pull away, and I watch with slight amusement as Ren's cheeks instantly flare into a deep scarlet. Oh, thanks for walking me. Thanks for walking me home. I can almost see the steam rise from his head as he remains in his shoulder slouched position. So I awkwardly pat his chest to get him to loosen up. I mean, yeah, of course. Don't mention it. I love Red. He almost bumps his head with the umbrella as he leans back, but remains close to my side. Well then? Much like the first time I met him at the library, I awkwardly gesture to the door behind me as I try and find my way to excuse myself. Sometimes Ren really made these kind of situations difficult. I should head back inside, and you should get out of this rain. Oh, yeah, I probably should. He still makes no sign of leaving, which made me wonder if he was going to wait to make sure that I made it safely inside my apartment. As if to test that theory, I give him a small wave and turn on my heel. I do that. I'm very paranoid, and I do it with my friends. I'll do it with anybody. If you are with me, and I'm dropping you off somewhere, I'm like, did you get in? You get in? I either wait until I see your door closed or I get a text. I don't, yeah. I'm overprotective a little bit. Oh, before you go, this is for you. Without another word, Ren shoves the bag he was holding into my arms with a forced smile. Peering inside, I noticed the Haruko plushie I had been eyeing earlier. He really went out of his way to get this for me? Wow. Eh. Well then, I'll be going. Good night, Angel. Before I could respond, Ren was already turning on his heels and leaving back the way he came. With a warm and fuzzy feeling still inside me, I climb up the flight of stairs until I reach my floor. I highly doubt my landlord had fixed the elevator yet, if the caution tape was anything to go by. But it was difficult to focus on those things when all I could think about was Ren's warmth lingering on my lips. But a flash of white manages to pull me from my thoughts, and I notice Violet lingering near the stairwell entrance to our floor. Sleepy! Hey! I'm guessing the weather put a fork in your plans too, huh? Was she about to go on a walk with her plants? She moves to unlock her door, and I notice how one of her potted plants has been moved to the busted window at the end of the hall. I guess Violet had moved it to make sure to use the free reign. That's my girl. And make it easier to water her plants without the effort. Facts. Wanna come in for a while? The weather is making me feel rather chilly. I can brew some tea and warm us up if you like. Sorry, Vi. As much as I'd love to, my social battery is kind of drained by now. Oh, that's okay. I totally get it. You just need some time alone to unwind, right? In that case, Carla over here is good company. She won't talk, but she'll listen to your problems without a complaint. Thanks, Carla girl. She hands me a small bouquet made of an assortment of colored tulips before waving me off and stepping into her apartment. I beg you. Why was I cheated? I want that life. I want to be Violet. She is a flower shop owning, a flower shop working, gamer girl who is stinking cute with a fantastic wardrobe. With looks. She makes sure she has looks. Why on God's green earth is that not me? I need to make some phone calls upstairs. The smell of lavender waves as she pokes her head out of the door, and the scent immediately calms my senses. My offer still stands if you ever change your mind though. Just knock and I'll get the kettle running. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Sleepy. Toodles. She has sleepy energy. Like, I love her. Man, Violet was really something, huh? She really is. She literally is. Stepping into the comfort of my apartment, I discard my keys into the bowl and take off my shoes. Ignoring the awful squelching sound it makes, I try my best not to leave a puddle of water in my wake as I make my way into the lounge room. I put the Haruko plushie from the bag and set it on the couch before I turn the television on and prepare myself for a much-needed shower. Aching news. The body of a young woman has been pulled from a dumpster on Cornell Street, no more than 5 feet from the place she worked at. Edicts say she suffered multiple blunt forces to her vital organs, as well as showing signs of stress and struggle. Viewer discretion is advised, as these images contain scenes that might be a trick. All of a sudden, the TV turns into static, and I can only assume that it was caused by the storm. Hey, Eleanor better be okay, and that's all I know. I didn't need to look up. You know what y'all want another theory that y'all didn't ask for? Okay, well, here it is. What if, like, they keep getting rebooted? Like, what show? I'm trying to think of, like, an analogy of something. They don't necessarily perish, but they do perish. So like you'll have, like, say there's me, right? And then Ren perishes me. And then I'm rebooted. Like I start from scratch. But like I know who you are and everything. I have the memories, but like I'm starting from scratch. So it technically starts our relationship level from scratch. I wonder if that's like a thing. I could be thinking too deeply into it, playing Super Sleuth. I didn't need to look outside the window to know that it had only gotten worse, and I wonder if Ren was going to be alright on the walk back to his apartment. Also, who's the person on the TV? It better not be one of my friends. The reporter seemed to be standing outside of a hardware store, which wasn't far from the pier Ren and I went to today. Dang, I really wanted to know more. I didn't. Despite that, I don't feel like taking any chances in this freak storm, so I quickly race to the bathroom before the power turns off next. With my body finally free of the smell of rain, I let out a satisfied sigh as I slip into the comfort of my bed. I didn't even notice that I had brought my new plushie into my bedroom, but I bring it closer to my side and bury my face in its fluffiness. The faintest hint of cherry and mint emits from the toy and makes my mind drift to thoughts of the strange pink-haired man once more. He was still as odd as usual, but some parts of him were starting to feel rather endearing. I noticed how he was no longer stuttering as much or acting as shy, and it made me wonder if we were getting closer. Now that I really thought about it, how did I feel about Ren? Okay, so this is the beginning of day 3, but it's starting at our apartment. We didn't spend the night with Ren. Almost like clockwork, my body reacts to the all too familiar sounds of birds chirping outside my window, and it pulls me from the depths of dreamland. Groggily, I roll onto my sides and reach for my phone at the nightstand. I briefly get flashbanged by the brightness of my screen before squinting my eyes to make out the time. Glancing at the clock, I noticed that I somehow managed to wake up an hour earlier than usual, and that I received a few messages from Moth at some point in the night. Opening them up, I casually began to skim through them. Tell me you've seen the newest Attack on Giant theories. Big fat massive spoiler alert. Haruko lives. Our boy really survived that massive blast from that sorcerer. Look at these pics. You could clearly see that part of his outfit in one of them. He's clearly still alive. By the way, let me know when you're awake so I can tell you about something super important. Anyway, back to my Haruko theory I came up with and definitely did not steal from the online forum. In this 329-page essay, this is me and my friends. There still seem to be quite a few more lengthy messages from Moth underneath, but I figured I got the overall gist of things already. In fact, after looking at these messages, I was beginning to think that Moth didn't really have anyone else to talk about. Attack on Giant, which didn't really surprise me. They weren't exactly the best at opening up and getting to know others, let alone with strangers online. So it was a wonder how we managed to become friends in the first place. Back then, we were both new fans who wanted to fawn over Attack on Giants on some online forum, yet we somehow crossed paths and clicked immediately. It'd be like that. Those are the best friendships. Those are my favorite. And even now, the franchise is still insanely popular within the anime community because there's so many memes for it. Oh, Marco. Garnering many fans who love to discuss the episode theories with others online. Yet, Moth always seems to come to me before anyone else, and for that, I was grateful. I honestly didn't mind in the slightest. I also got to gush to them about my hyperfixations in return. It's our favorite! Right now, okay, so Miss Duvid has me watching, Bastard. I actually really, I'm low-key obsessed with it. Like, I low-key am obsessed, and I'm upset. I'm upset. Because there's so many booty cheeks in that show. There's so many booty cheeks. But it's really fun. But, man, I just wished our time zones were more lenient. I always manage to catch Moth as soon as I'm going to bed. And they always seem to message me while I'm halfway through my sleep cycle. Well, there's no use in thinking too much about it. Putting those thoughts aside for now, I decide to spend the rest of my morning going through the rest of Moth's messages instead, and even sending back a few theories of my own before getting ready for work. But before I begrudgingly leave the warmth and comfiness of my bed in favor of making breakfast, I make sure to give my new Haruka plushie a squeeze and a pat on the head, like he deserves. With a full stomach and a slight bounce in my step, I casually make my way towards the Corland Bay library. Even from here, I could make out Eleanor's fancy welcome message written on the chalkboard sign. And from the looks of the parking situation outside, it didn't seem to be that busy. Yeah, you say don't jinx yourself. What captures my interest, however, is a black sports motorbike propped up in one of the parking spots. I can make out a ton of small anime decals on the tank, but what really catches my attention is the Always With You stickers. Whoever owned that bike must have been a fan of the webcomic, and I honestly wanted to be their friend because of it. Because as unfortunate as it is, the only person I had to talk about this was Moth. But it made a lot of sense considering how Always With You was only published recently, and the fandom was still so small. Not many people were aware of its existence. But that was slowly starting to change. Physical copies of the webcomic were starting to appear in stores, and despite my attempts, I had yet to get my hands on one. Oh well, maybe one day. Now wasn't the time to be dwelling on these things. I would have been late for work if I stayed in my head any longer. Not wasting any more time, I quickly speed up to the staircase to enter the library. But I barely make it 3 feet inside before a mess of blonde hair enters my field of view and almost knocks me over. Hi, Eleanor. We're declining Leon's offer to go to the aquarium because I don't want to. I didn't want to in the first row, and I still do not want to. Actually, now that I played with Red, I did want to go, but not anymore. So. Sorry, but I really don't think I can stomach being around that muscle-headed idiot. Yeah, no, I get it. Don't worry, Sunfish. You don't have to force yourself. And there's no need to apologize either. If you don't want to go, then you don't have to go. I'll have fun in your stead. What did I do to deserve someone as considerate as Leon in my life? Thanks, Leo. Make sure to send me updates, yeah? I can't exactly tolerate Teo, but I can tolerate you and Eleanor just fine. You got it. Undercover cop Leon Davis reporting in. No need to worry. Your updates will be handwritten with love and personally sent to your address every 5 minutes. I couldn't stop the laugh that came up at his usual dramatics. The second I see them as much as holding hands, I'll make sure to snap a picture so you can use it as like blackmail or something. I mean, surely there's someone out there who'd pay big amounts of money for that kind of stuff, right? Not the world-renowned Leon Davis using his own friends as blackmail. He's truly going corrupt. Why does that look like that? Why does that look like that? He's truly going corrupt. Can I get a moment of silence, fool? Leon's voice abruptly cuts in and out, so I thumb the volume button to try and hear him better. Come again? Your sentence got cut off. Oh, huh? I said, can I get... Hello? Leon, I think you're breaking up. Are we breaking up? But I thought we were gonna be the partners in crime until the day we... Wait, is this still a bit? Or can you really not hear me? Because I can hear you just fine, Sleepy. Actually, you do sound kind of distorted now. Pressing the phone closer to my ear, I try to make out Leon's words, except nothing but static and white noise greets me. Did the call cut out? Too preoccupied with examining numbers 0111011111, my phone, I hardly make out the 0111101001 sound of my window sliding open. Wanna go on the date, Ren? You didn't agree to go on the date, Angel. Why? Is it because of Teo? Because of me? Were you thinking about me? Yeah, actually. Did you want to see me again? Is that it? Sleepy, I missed you too. Sorry I didn't get to talk to you as much today. But I saw you. I couldn't take my eyes off of you. You're so fun to watch, Angel. It's so cute when you think you're by yourself. I could see you shaking behind the reception counter earlier. Did you like my present? Now you can carry a part of me with you, Ren! No! No! No, baby, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can give me different kinds of gifts. Just hold my hand. Do you want to be with me too? Is that why you were trying to meet me here? Keep it up, and I won't let you leave next time. Do you want that? Do you want to be with me? Here, forever. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Sleepy. Sleepy. Sleepy, 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 sleepy. I'm just kidding. I only wanted to tease you a little. Get your heart racing the same way you make mine. He really got me because I was scared. I was like, ugh. Oh God, please don't be scared of me. You know I would never hurt you. But the thought of always having you by my side is so overwhelming. I ache to have you near. Did you know that? And now that I finally have you here again, maybe I could. No, I can't. Not yet. This time, I want you to agree to go on a date with that deadbeat friend of yours. As much as I want to be with you here forever, there's still so much planned out for the both of us. I can't see it, but I can feel it. I can tell something big is gonna happen soon. I can't wait to see what it is. I can't wait to experience it with you too, Sleepy. Alright, I'm gonna send you back now. No jump scare this time. I promise, Angel. So be good and do as I say, okay? I love you, Angel. I love you so much. Until next time. But I don't want to go on the date. Okay. Alright, so I am at my first date. And I'm going to try to make it so that I can pick all the sketchy answers without picking all the good answers, or without getting a crazy Ren end. So Ren isn't my boyfriend. Oh yeah, I still need to talk to Ren about that and clear up any potential misunderstandings with everyone. And Leon definitely seemed like a good place to start. But before I can get a word out to explain, he beats me to it. He's not. Then what was that all about the other day? You sure looked all cozied up with you at the pier. I'm sure Ren only said that to get Tay off my back. He didn't really mean it. And I've been meaning to talk to him about that for a while now, actually. I see. Besides, I only agreed to this outing because Eleanor genuinely seemed like she wanted to go. And it's not like this is a date anyway, so... Hey, don't sweat it, Sleepy. There's no need to explain yourself either. I get what you're saying. I'm sure everything... Leon cuts himself off when he notices something behind me. And when I turn around to look, I see Eleanor running up to the group with a flushed expression on her face. This is when we had our Romeo and Juliet moment in the tanks. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see that. I was busy looking at the sunfish. The what? Clownfish? I was staring at the sharks. Oh, these are the boys. These are the boys. The sunfish is Leon. The clownfish is Jay, and the shark is Teor. He's the one that I don't like the most, so I'm okay with selling him off. Sharks, huh? They did look kind of cool, didn't they? Oh, a shark enthusiast, are we? No, they're a bit too scary for my liking. Plus, I don't think Haruko likes them that much either. Say, have you seen the latest episode of AOG yet? Haruko finally visits the sea for the first time. Rin, don't spoil it! I was gonna watch it later when I have some free time. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're not really missing out on much, though. It's another one of those boring beach episodes, but I wouldn't mind watching it again. I see. In that case, maybe we can watch it together sometime. Ren's expression is almost comical. He immediately straightens his posture with such an exaggerated motion that I find it hard not to laugh. You want to? With me? Just the two of us? Sure, unless you know someone else who might be interested. No. I watch as Ren's cheeks flush a deep shade of red before he whips his head around and almost smacks it into the glass in the process as he feigns interest in the fish once more. Oh my god, poor baby. Though I can tell he was genuinely feeling embarrassed with how bright his cheeks are, it was honestly cute. Still, now that Ren was right in front of me, but I couldn't help but wonder why he was here in the first place. Dang, why was I so fixated on holding his hand all of a sudden? Shaking my head to dismiss these thoughts, I pull my hand away and try to play it cool. Ren doesn't seem to notice my slight change in demeanor, though if he did, he had the decency not to say anything. Not that he could, however, considering how Eleanor's voice breaks the silence and captures our attention. Okay, so this is Teo trying to get us in the closet for some ungodly reason. Against all better judgment and all better options, I am going to go ahead and go in the closet with Teo and try not to strangle him in there. Oh, please, you're one to talk. You always used to do this to me back when we were dating. Remember all those parties you invited me to? Back when we both used to live in the city? You always left me by myself so you could go mess around with other people. At one point, I had to ask Jay to take me home because you didn't come back. You're not seriously bringing that up again, are you? Who do you think asked Jay to pick you up in the first place? It's about to be really easy to let him perish. And I know you. You always hate getting in trouble with the law. Why would I bring you along and get you involved with that? Plus, I appreciate if you didn't lump all my interest into just messing around. Is that seriously what you think of me? Am I just some serial cheating sleazebag to you? Well, no, but... And like I've told you a million times, doll, we were never dating. You came to that conclusion by yourself. Excuse me? I mean, when have I ever said we were exclusive? He's making it real hard. He's making it real hard on me. At what point did I ever call you my girlfriend? Every time you asked me where we were, I told you it was just something casual, nothing more. Sure, you got special treatment, but that's only because I saw you as a friend instead of someone I could just screw around with. You don't see me going after Jay or Leon for the same reason, do you? I guess, but still. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for giving you the wrong impression. But you knew from the damn start that I wouldn't be down for those kinds of relationships. Hold it in. Hold it in. Ooh, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Where's Leon? I need Leon. I told you this from the very beginning, dollface. But whatever we had going on between us, it was never meant to be something serious. You were the one who got attached and clingy. And now the same dumb thing is happening all over again with that blonde friend of yours. Little Miss Princess over there is treating me like I'm a damn child who needs to be supervised all the time, and I can't even tell if she's interested in me or not. Plus, you're not exactly... My suspicions were confirmed. Thank you for outing yourself. He's obsessed. No, never mind. Either my idea works out and this gathering gets more interesting, or she realizes I'm not the type to be babied and backs off. While I had to jump through hoops and hurdles to understand it, Teo did have a point, but everything about his idea just felt wrong. Nothing about this idea is good. Okay. Regardless if I agree or not, if Eleanor saw us flirting, wouldn't she just assume that you're not interested in her after all? Besides, I never betray her like that. Who said anything about flirting? You really are into me, aren't you? Can't say I'm flattered, doll. Excuse me. All I was gonna do is ignore her for a bit, make her think you're more entertaining or something, 'cause I am. I mean, it almost worked with that tour guy from earlier. But if you want to cling to my arm too, by all means, beautiful, go ahead. Just try not to get attached again this time. You're insufferable. So, is it a yes or a no? I still don't know what you want me to do exactly. It's so hard to pick this option. I didn't think it was gonna be this hard to pick this option, but I'm like, okay. God, I'm gonna save. With a wink, he leans closer and whispers against the shell of my ear. Smart choice, doll. One of Teo's large hands rests atop the one holding my phone, before he uses it to gently tuck me along and shuts the door behind us. Darkness envelops the both of us as I strain to make out the sounds of Teo shuffling in order to pinpoint where he is. I seriously can't believe he roped me into doing this. This is my side. Don't cross that line. What line? The line I just drew with my fingers. Teo, I can barely see anything in here. Well, almost. Even in my corner of the dark room, I can still make out the faint shape of boxes and shelves, alongside a dirty mop and cleaning supply that Teo made sure to put near me. Remember every sympathy I had in the last video? Gone. It's all gone. Crap, I hope I wasn't standing in anything. But just as I pull out my phone and use the flashlight to check, bright overhead lights flood the confined space as Rand and Eleanor's concerned faces appear from behind the door. I'm not ready for this. Well, that was quick. Ooh. Rin wastes no time in shoving past Teo to reach for me, only to take his place by my side and pull me into his chest. Because of this, I could hardly see Eleanor or Teo's reaction. Couldn't you talk to her outside? I can practically hear the venom dripping from Rin's tone as he harshly glares at Teo over his shoulder. Who goes into storerooms just to talk anyway? Talk about clinging. Well, whatever. I got what I wanted. I follow Teo's gaze as he takes in Eleanor's flushed expression before he throws an arm over her shoulder, takes the bag of food from their grasp and guides her to the closet. I can hear him mumble something about how adorable she looks with a pouting expression as the door shuts behind them. Why did he take my baby into the closet? Nothing but silence is left in their wake, and that's when I notice Ren is still in the closet with me, peering down with an unreadable expression. Ooh. What we doing in the closet, Ren? I like I like how the energy shifts. It went from I don't want to go into this closet to maybe we should. I mean, I don't mind being in the closet with you. Like, we could stay here. Like, I don't mind staying here. Did he hurt you? Do anything strange? No, Teo was just being Teo. Odd. I couldn't help but feel the need to explain myself. He just wanted a way to make Eleanor jealous, so he suggested going into this closet with him. I swear, nothing happened. Do you like him? What? Do you like Teo? What else would you agree to? Clarifying who he was talking about still didn't lessen the confusion bubbling up in my brain, and I can hear Ren's grasp tighten around the shelf behind me as he tries to find the words to say. His breath comes out staggered now, and his gaze isn't any less intense. No, actually, let's go down the list. Yeah? Let's put Teo on the chopping block. Actually, because I'm still angry at him. Actually, I do like Teo. I like Teo. Something akin to hatred flashes in Ren's eyes before he closes them and rests his forehead against my own. The action was fast fleeting as his head eventually drops into the crook of my neck instead. His hands remain against the shelf behind me. I see. Fuck. What does he have that I don't? Ren? He doesn't seem to respond. Instead, he simply stays rooted in place while his breath fans against my shoulder. Fuck me in the closet. I can almost hear the wooden shelf creak as his grip tightens, before he pulls back with a determined glint in his eyes. As long as Teo didn't do anything to you, then. And if he did, I'd kill him. It was like the room got cold all of a sudden. There's an unsettling look on Ren's face before it quickly morphs into his usual soft expression. Was I just imagining things? Just kidding. Something tells me he really wasn't joking around. Angel, are you okay? Was that really Ren just now? Encourage his dark behavior. Dissuade his dark behavior. I don't like these options. Sure. Why not? You know what? Maybe you should have. I can't really stand people who do whatever they please for their own selfish reasons. I glare at the floor as I recount how Teo had been treating me lately. Like I was something expendable to throw away once he had his fun. Wasn't that what he essentially did? Once Eleanor came in, he didn't look twice before leaving with her. You'd be okay with that? With Teo dead? Yes. Really? You sure? I'm sure. He stares at me with wide eyes and it almost makes me regret saying anything in the first place. I really don't know what came over me, but still. Some decrepit and morbid part of me genuinely did believe that Teo would have been better off at the bottom of Lake Blue Moss. Oh my god, I never really let it get to me, but I've honestly had it up to here with people like him. Those hedonistic individuals who only care about themselves and never the well-being of those around them. Perhaps this is why I moved away from the city in the first place, to escape people like Teo. In some messed up way, at least it brought me closer to someone as understanding and considerate as Ren. Speaking of, I dare glance towards my pink-haired companion, only to find him staring back at me with a soft smile. He leans in close this time, as if he wanted to whisper something for only me to hear. Well, if I ever need to hide a body, I'll know who to call now. No way you're getting me involved with your crimes. No, but I think it's a genius idea. They'd never suspect the cute librarian. Facts. Now that the mood was lightened, I give Ren a playful shove and roll my eyes. Now that that's all sorted, I think we should leave the dingy storage closet by now, don't you? I mean, we've been in here for a while. And Nori has our food. I suppose we should leave, but I guess there's something sort of comforting about this closet. Or maybe it's just you. Huh? Being this close to you. I like it. Where was this coming from? Suddenly, I can hear Ren's arm shift from beside me and move towards my face instead. His fingertips hover over my cheek, and for a brief moment, I almost find myself wanting to lean into his touch to feel his warmth. But he pulls away at the very last second and instead rests his hands by his side once more. Ren? I don't want to be a hypocrite. He sends me yet another soft smile before stepping back and awkwardly tugging on the end of his sleeve. Hypocrite? What did he mean by that? Confused, I press him for answers. What do you mean? I came here thinking Teo was putting moves on you to get a rise out of me. If I'm being honest, part of me wants to think that he's still outside, waiting for us to leave. I want to... He covers his mouth with his hand as he awkwardly shifts his weight from one foot to the other. Ren almost looks like he's weighing his options, and I can't tell if it's a winning or losing battle in his mind. All I can do is offer him a reassuring look to let him know he can speak more freely with me. I mean, we did just have a heart-to-heart about the appropriateness of murder a few minutes ago. I kind of want to make him jealous too. Oh? I mean, I'm supposed to be paired up with you today, not him. He has no business trying to take you from me. His speech is starting to do things. He has no business trying to take you from me. Not like he could, anyway. Oh, okay, Big Zaddy. The words remind me of the day at the pier, when the pushy cashier kept trying to flirt with Ren. I won't lie and say that I hadn't been affected by it. It's hard not to be when being with Ren has been the most exciting thing as of late. Yeah, but I still had so many things I needed to discuss with him. What better place to start than here? About that. Remember our time by the boardwalk the other day? Our date by the pier? Yeah, and that cashier tried to... Well, I'm not really sure what she was trying, but she seemed really cozy with you. Cozy? Did it come across that way? I thought I made my intentions with her clear. Confusion must have been written all over my face as Ren takes it upon himself to elaborate further. I may have threatened to push her down the staircase. I wouldn't really do it though. What? You really tried to threaten her? Yes, but only because she tried to take me away from you. I never wanted to make you upset or leave your side for that matter. We were having fun together and she had to come along and ruin it. Making you upset like that. That clingy leech had it coming. Sir? I think he offed the poor girl. But she was the girl who was in the dumpster was blonde. Anyway. Besides, whatever she had to show me downstairs probably wouldn't have been that interesting anyway. I let out a deep sigh and weighed Ren's words. Was he really telling me the truth? I swear, I'm not interested in her, Angel. In fact, I'm not really interested in anyone who isn't you. I guess I haven't been really forward enough with you, huh? In that case... What you doing? I watch as Ren takes a tentative step towards me and reaches an arm out. But before I can feel the cool touch of his hand on my cheek, he seems to hesitate. When I take my own step closer and lean my head into his hand, Ren's demeanor seems to melt instantly. He sends me a soft smile before fully committing to cupping my cheek. Believe me when I say my only interest is in you, Sleepy. No one could possibly sway me from you. I'm yours completely. All of me and more. Ren's gaze is almost intense as he peers down at me. Sincerity manifests on his face and in his words. And I feel myself slowly believing it. I like how we're just okay with him saying, yeah, I would murder him. And then I also push her down the stairs. I threatened to push her down the stairs. I ain't scared. And like, wow, we said, he's cute. Same. You don't need to feel the same way right now, but so long as you believe me, that's all I ask. And his gaze drops to his feet, and the hand that was once caressing my face now moves to cover his mouth instead. Perhaps it's the trick of the eye, but I could have sworn I saw Rin gently inhale. Maybe don't look at anyone else who isn't me too. What was that? Nothing. Just wondering if Mr. Wasabi Hair is... I'm gonna start calling Teo Mr. Wasabi Hair. Wondering if Mr. Wasabi Hair is still outside the door. Wasabi Hair? Why don't you go check then, Buttercup? I'll be here. No, I like being with you instead. Ren takes another step closer. We're practically chest to chest at this point, until I could feel the warmth radiate from his body and bring me comfort. No one compares to you. I could bask in your company for as long as you let me. I'd never tire of you. Oh, he said, it's okay to let my crazy out now, so I'm gonna do it. Was that too much? I figured I'd be more honest and open with you to avoid any more misunderstandings, but I can dial it back. I love him. I love him. I love him. Or not do it at all if you prefer. I don't mind, Ren. I wasn't expecting it, I guess. Normally you're more reserved, almost like Haruko, right? What a coincidence, huh? I suppose he's my favorite character for a reason, you know? And is it winning me any points? We'll see. I can feel Ren's breath ghost against the shell of my ear as he lets out a puff of laughter. Can't believe I'm getting jealous over an anime character. Hey now, unlike Haruko, you're real, and I can touch you. Ren's face seems to immediately flush at that. Besides, imagine how Teo must be feeling right now. We've been in here for how long? You know, I didn't think you'd be on board for making him jealous. Really? Yeah, but if you're still up for it. With a mischievous glint in Ren's eyes, making him look younger and more youthful than he normally appears. What harm could a little prank do? I did want to get back at Teo for making me go through with this in the first place. And admittedly, I was enjoying my time with Ren in the closet. See, this is what happiness looks like. I wouldn't have had this much needed conversation otherwise, nor would I have gotten any clarity if I kept pondering over it endlessly. With a lopsided smile of my own, I come to a decision. What are we about to do? Since we're on that route, let's stay here. I'm sure I could spend a few more minutes inside this closet. We could really sell it if you let me tussle your hair a bit. Only if you turn your jacket inside out too, though something tells me Teo would see right through it. Yeah, I guess he'd be all too familiar with that sort of thing, huh? Hey, have you heard? Deciding that if we were going to spend a bit longer in the closet, I might as well have a little fun with it. Without missing a beat, Ren leans closer to me and lowers his head so I can whisper into his ear. One time, Teo got fraternizing with the mayor's son at some club. Apparently, he left with the wrong tie and belt. Nice to know he's a bi king, but not the wrong tie and belt. Y'all the same size? Teo does have a slutty waist. Seriously? Yeah, it was all over the news. Wow, I must have missed it. I don't usually watch TV. Oh, and what do you do? I rent good books and chat up beautiful librarians, of course. I love him so much. And do you normally chat them up in dark closets as well? Only one. So far. I'm hoping it'll stay that way. The smile Ren sends me somehow makes the closet feel so much brighter. He's a good boy. He's never done anything wrong.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
As soon as Ren and I exit the storeroom, the first thing we notice is that Teo, Eleanor, and our food is nowhere in sight. I guess the resident arsonist really got what he wanted after all. And for some reason, Ren seemed just as bummed about the situation too. Man, they really just left. I guess so, which kind of sucks because Teo was my ride home. Oh, I can drop you off if you want. Or we could go to my place, it's not far. We have some time to kill. All of a sudden, remember when I said this was the bad route and we were gonna do all bad things, and I've done nothing but good things with Ren. All of a sudden, the chilling thought of a potential stalker lurking about returns. I willed the unsettling feeling in my stomach to calm down. Perhaps going home wouldn't be the best idea right now, especially if someone might still be there waiting for me. Ren's innocent offer lingers in my mind, and I find myself feeling more and more inclined to take him up on it as the seconds pass. I mean, I definitely would feel much better if I had someone else around, in the off chance that something were to happen. Plus, I did feel safe in Ren's presence. Still, I didn't want to concern him with my troubles, let alone potentially put his well-being at risk. I also didn't want anything to happen to Kiara by revealing too much to Ren. So maybe it would be best to keep quiet about my problem and accept his offer. And if I changed my mind, I'm sure Ren would be kind enough to bring me home. So, with a forced smile, I peer up at Ren with a determined look and give him my answer. Sounds good to me. The walk to the parking lot was slow and uneventful, but I didn't seem to mind. I was having fun with Ren as we playfully nudged each other along the sidewalk, and the banter we shared helped brighten my mood. Eventually, though, things start to wind down, and I find myself trying to fill the silence. So, Teo and Eleanor, huh? Somehow, the conversation keeps falling back to the pair, and I just couldn't understand why. It wasn't like I was actively trying to think of them, though maybe I just needed round for the thought to leave my mind. A sideway glance in Ren's direction showed me he genuinely was considering my question. If the purse lip and head tilt were anything to go by, and I couldn't help but chuckle. It sure is a weird combo now that I think about it, but, well, if it works. That's true, I suppose. It's hard to imagine Nori with someone like Teo. You think it's impossible? Being with someone who's not your type? I guess it depends on the person. I see. What about you, Ren? You think you could be with someone who might not be your type? Nope, absolutely not. Dang, Ren. Okay. His response is immediate, and it has me turning my head to my pink-haired companion's direction. I mean, you're my type. Why would I want to be with someone who isn't you? Oh, but this isn't about me, right? You asked about Eleanor and Teo. Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you think they should be a couple? I choose to ignore the way Ren evades my initial question, but I won't lie. His own musing does leave me pondering. Do I think my friend and coworker would be a good couple? I do. Hypothetically, of course, I'm well aware of the fact that the Theodore Alvarado would never settle down with anyone. But still, if anyone would be able to get Teo to change his ways, I'm sure Eleanor could do it. She has a certain charm about her that makes everyone want to be a better person. I had no doubt that even people like Teo wouldn't be immune to it. Yeah, he has a terrible time telling her things. I had no doubt that even people like Teo wouldn't be immune to it. How will you respond? Do I think Teo and Eleanor would be cute together? I actually do. I do. I feel like we already discussed this in length. I think they actually would make a really good pair and balance each other off, so. Yes, I'll entertain you, Ren. Maybe it stopped them from looking at you with hearts in their eyes. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Are Teo and Ellen, do they like us? Teo, yes, but does Eleanor have a crush on us? Because I love that. I love that. I'm okay with that. I'm here for it. What was that? Oh, I said, doesn't Eleanor look like she has hearts in her eyes? You know, for Teo? Looking deeply into Nori's eyes, are we? No, I would never. Why would I even? I'm just teasing you, Ren. Oh. Soon enough, our conversation comes to a halt when a sleek, black sports bike comes into view. As I draw closer, I notice a few faded "Always With You" stickered decals that adorn the tank. Did Ren really own this motorbike, and was he really at the library the other day? With the same decals? And was he a fan of the webcomic as well? I always assumed the community was rather small. There wasn't much talk about the webcomic online, so it was nice to know someone else enjoyed it as much as I did. But just as I was about to bring the topic up, Ren blocks my view as he turns to me with an embarrassed smile. If I had known I'd be bringing you home, I would have brought my car instead. But I recently loaned it to a friend, actually. You got friends? He said he ain't got no friends. Oh, really? Yeah, he's out of town though. I doubt I'll be getting it back anytime soon. Gotta clean the blood off the back seats. Anyway, Ren retrieves a spare helmet from the side of his motorbike and turns to me once more. With a nervous glance, I let him slip the helmet on and secure it tightly. I'd never been on his motorbike before, but I put the fear aside for the prospect of more free food and a warm home. Give it to us, give it to us. Somehow, we managed to make it to Ren's apartment complex in record time. I guess he wasn't lying when he said it wasn't that far. And unlike Teo, Ren lawfully parked his bike in the designated area before guiding me towards the elevator with a spring in his step. Tacky music plays as we slowly ascended to the upper levels, though Ren only makes it even more awkward by staring at the back of my head the entire time. I can practically feel his eyes on me even as I try to ignore them, so I offer him a forced grin while we both wait for the elevator's doors to open. He's so awkward, I love it. Once they do, I was immediately met with a grandiose corridor and large, spacious doors, and I found myself wondering how much it'd cost to live in a luxurious place like this. Damn, did Ren really live here? Too lost in thought, I aimlessly follow behind my pink-haired companion as he leads me towards his door, before bumping into his backside when he abruptly stops in his tracks. Concerned at his odd and sudden reaction, I glance up only to find him staring intently at the floor. What's on the floor, babes? Following Ren's gaze, I notice the lights coming from beneath the cracks of one of the doors, and weirdly enough, the faintest hint of black smoke seems to be emerging from there as well. Smoke? Did they burn their food or something? Confused, I look to Ren to see if he has any better ideas. Is there something wrong? Huh? Oh, no, I didn't realize someone had moved in. I thought I was the only one who lived on this floor. Not a fan of sharing, are we? Not particularly. He's so cute. Still, I guess everything should be fine as long as I don't. Never mind. Before I can question it, Ren continues walking until we arrive to our destination. Watching him dig through his pockets for his keycard only reminds me to check my phone, and when I reach for it, I notice my own pockets are empty. A wave of realization hits me as the panic slowly starts to creep in. Oh shoot! In my flustered state, I barely noticed Ren turning to me with a curious look on his face. I think I left my phone back at the aquarium. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I placed it on the shelf when Teo pulled me into that closet earlier. Ren seems to bristle at that. I was gonna say, don't mention that. Hey, don't worry. I'll go back and get it. The aquarium should be open anyway. I'm so sorry about this. Ren unlocks the door and gestures for me to go inside. Don't worry about it, Sleepy. Here, make yourself at home. I'll be back before you know it. Ren doesn't give me a chance to say goodbye before he's speeding off towards the direction of the elevator, leaving me to my own devices. I awkwardly step inside his apartment and take everything in. I'm about to snoop. We about to snoop D-O-double-G. We about to snoop D-O-double-G. I venture further into the entryway, leaving the grandiose corridor and large spacious doors behind me. Whoa. Did Ren seriously live in a place like this? It was hard to imagine as I awkwardly stand at the entrance of his foyer in shock. Yes, foyer. He had a whole damn foyer in his apartment. Was this even an apartment? Surely a penthouse would have made more sense. Feeling nosy, I shut the door and meander my way further into his house, and soon enough I find myself in Ren's spacious lounge room. Aside from the hallway, the rest of the lights were off, but I could still make out most of the dark shapes within the room with ease. It was just as ostentatious as the rest of his house, though I couldn't help but feel like it lacked any form of life. It just didn't seem like someone actually lived here. The furniture was gaudy, yet tasteless. There was hardly any personal decoration or colors, and there was nothing that really screamed Ren to me. There were no personal touches, photos, items, hobbies, nothing. Just tacky furniture and the bland smell of something sterile. If I was being honest, it gave off the same vibe as the dentist clinic or a hospital. But as I looked closer, I soon found myself eating my words. It's then when I noticed a large desk pressed against one of the corners in the room, tucked and hidden away from view. I can't help the twang of curiosity that hits me as I draw closer towards it. Do it, do it. And with the desk not close enough to see, I can easily make out the shape of some kind of art station, as well as Ren's laptop, still open to the side. Papers were scattered all over the rest of the table, and another tentative step closer brings its contents into view. Were they rough drafts for a webcomic? This is gonna take a very interesting twist. Okay. I had an inkling Ren would be into them, given his interest in AOG, but I had no idea he created a few of his own. One book in particular, however, piques my interest when its unique cover, though it just might have been the book lover in me. It was thick and worn out, yet it looked like it was well taken care of. I noticed some kind of smudge marks, possibly red paint. Don't touch that, that's evidence, babe. Stain the front of the cover, as well as some sort of circular indent notched right into the center. Does something go inside here? The contraption is foreign to me, and whatever fits inside must have been how you unlock it. But as I turned the book in my hands, I noticed that the latch was already detached, and a few loose pages spill out onto the disc. Ah! With a panic cry, I quickly scooped the papers back up and opened the book to stuff them back inside. But as I do, something else catches my eye. Weren't these sketches from Always With You? Yeah, that's what I thought! I could easily make out the male lead's hairstyle anywhere. After all, it was similar to Ren's, or rather, Haruko's. Yet, this one had a contrasting shade of black instead of pink. Maybe another character then? Strange, I don't remember seeing any similar black-haired characters in the webcomic. Still, the likeliness of the art style was insane, and Always With You was the only webcomic published by the anonymous author. Their debut into the online industry was a huge success because of it. So, fan art? It was oddly cute to think that Ren might have made his own self-insert character. Though if I were any better at art, I probably would have done the same. Curiosity once again gets the better of me, or was it my hyperfixations? And I was half tempted to peek through the rest of the book to learn more. Should I? Yes. Yes, we should. Absolutely not. Investigate the drawings, look at the weird lock, check out the desk. Ooh, we're gonna do all of these. Let's get the lore. I can't resist the urge to flip through the pages, and when I do, my suspicions are confirmed. There, right in front of my eyes, were the all too familiar characters from Always With You, yet something about them feels almost uncanny. They didn't look exactly like the actual characters from the webcomic, though I could sense a certain familiarity from them. And upon closer inspection, most of the drawings were the main character and her love interest doing various lovey-dovey things together. The other drawings were depicted as rather ominous and gloomy, which was ironic considering the male lead was usually referred to as gloomy by the narrator. He was often withdrawn and greatly preferred to lurk in the shadows instead of interacting with others, so the name really fits. But still, seeing my beloved gloomy in some of these drawings, surrounded by hundreds of creepy eyes, harsh scribbles, and a lot of deep red ink, it honestly made me feel bad for him. Oh no, why was he often being drawn in a dark room with nothing in it? Almost like an endless void with no exit in sight. Figuring I'd seen enough, or perhaps I just didn't want to see one of my comfort characters so alone, I turn my eyes away from the page and close the book. When I do, I make sure to latch it properly and place it back on the table. But as I do so, I accidentally knock over one of the ink bottles, which stains the desk a deep shade of black. Oh crap! I frantically skitter about to look for some paper towels, and eventually find myself in front of what I assume were one of Ren's gaudy bathrooms. Okay, so let's look at the weird lock. Glancing at the book still in my hands, I check out the lock one more time. Yet no matter how many times I turned and angled the book differently, I still can't figure out how the mechanism works. It didn't look like a normal key would fit in it, and I didn't see any space to insert one in the first place. All it had was a small indent in the center, and room underneath to insert the latch. But upon further inspection, wouldn't a ring fit in there? It had just enough space for one, and it definitely fit the circular shape, though I don't think I'd ever heard of a lock that could be opened with a ring. That's cool though. Maybe I should invest in one for my own apartment. Figuring it isn't my place to snoop any further, I turn my eyes away from the front cover and close the book. Let's check out his desk. Holding the book to my chest for now, I glance at the desk once more. The papers were still there, alongside Ren's laptop that was still surprisingly on, despite not being plugged in into a power socket. That's weird. Admittedly, it did pique my interest. Why did Ren leave his laptop unattended? As if getting a response, a message pops up on the screen and startles me. You sure she's gone for real this time? We can't risk, after what happened last time. It's like it's following us. And just a suggestion, but maybe try burning the other thing too? I don't want any chances. I don't know. Look, I'll see if I can visit and help you out as well. Need to return your boring piece of junk anyway. Error. Didn't like it. Well, whatever. Don't do anything stupid in the meantime, redacted. All of a sudden, the app closes itself and shows me Ren's cluttered desktop. And out of the corner of my eye, I swear I see the red light of his webcam turn on for a split second. Crap, I shouldn't have been looking through Ren's personal messages without his permission. What kind of creep does that anyway? Ren? Almost ashamed, I step away from the laptop, but not before I realize the item still grasped in my hands. Whoa. Even its restroom looked expensive. I was afraid of touching anything, fearing I'd accidentally break it or end up paying for it. Glancing around again, I noticed how his countertops seemed to be void of any dental care, hairbrushes, and skincare products, though a few bottles of concealer and an open bottle of hair dye sat on the corner near the sink. Well, I guess that answers my burning question on whether or not he had naturally pink hair. But now it had me wonder, if Ren does dye his hair, then what is his natural hair color? It takes me a moment of contemplation, but I eventually settle on a roll of toilet paper before rushing back into the living room. And by some miracle, it easily lifts the mark from the desk, though it only seems to transfer onto my skin instead. Great. Just when I thought it couldn't get any worse. Don't say that. Because then the door opens. It takes a solid minute or two of scrubbing until I'm satisfied, and once I'm sure no stains are left on the table, I haphazardly throw the toilet paper into the trash can and wash my hands in the kitchen sink. That alone takes another 5 minutes of scrubbing and rinsing, but I somehow managed to lift all the ink off my skin and wash it down the drain. After all this, I definitely learned my lesson not to stoop ever again. I didn't. With an embarrassed sigh, I plopped myself onto the couch and let out a groan. A small part of me knew Ren wouldn't get upset over something as so small, but still. I didn't want him to know that I was snooping through his things, much less trying to learn more about his personal hobbies and interests. A queasy feeling in the pit of my stomach only seems to worsen at that, and I contemplate running away from such a confronting scene and locking myself at home for the rest of my life. Forget my phone. I could always buy a new one. I'm sure I still had my spare one still lying around in a box collecting dust somewhere. Sure, the screen was cracked, but it'd get the job done. Still, I couldn't help but feel like I was making a mountain out of a molehill, and there was the looming threat of the potential stalker waiting for me to come home. Maybe it was best if I stay here after all. With that thought, I settle further into Ren's plush couch and anxiously await his return. I can hear the faint ticking of the clock somewhere in the endless maze of an apartment, alongside the occasional humming of the central heater he turned on before he left. Aside from that, the silence was almost deafening, and I have half the mind to reach for the remote and turn on the television. Surely I wouldn't hurt. I mean, Ren did say I could make myself at home. You know, potentially snooping around. Perhaps it was to get rid of the guilty feeling forming in my stomach, but I quickly find myself shaking my head to dismiss those thoughts and reaching for the remote on the table. Clicking through the channels, I land on one in particular. And although the signal was weak, I could discern the picture from some news reporter in a blazer that looked far too flimsy to keep her warm. Oh no. She's droning on about the local happenings in Corland Bay before a familiar backdrop comes on the screen and captures my full attention. Oh? The entrance to the aquarium appears to be on the television, as ambulance lights flash and sirens go off in the background. There's a somber expression on the reporter's face as she communicates with her counterpart, who is currently at the location. Victim's body was found, mauled and ripped apart in one of the shark tanks. Authorities have confirmed that it is the body of Christian Du's son and sole heir to the corporate giant Tech Marketing. Also believe that was a self-inflicted accident. Here on the scene with us, we have the mayor's chairman and the mother of the victim, Kaori Ao, to talk about. The TV turns to static, and I quickly... What was Tails' last name, guys? Wasn't it Alvarez? Or was it something along those lines? Okay. The TV turns to static, and I quickly reach for the remote to find another channel. Another news show pops up, this time showing a grainy black and white recording of the CCTV footage taken from the aquarium. And though it's hard to make out, the footage depicts a person pacing around on the wooden decks until the upper half of their body is almost out of frame. The rest of their body was still in view though, being illuminated by their phone screen as they fiddled with it. Then, all of a sudden, the person immediately drops it, almost as if it was too hot to touch, and takes a step back. They must have lost their footing or something, as they ended up tumbling into the tank and submerging themselves underwater. The footage cuts out shortly after, seemingly too inappropriate to air on live television, as noted by the reporter. I let out a breath I hadn't known I'd been holding and let reality sink in. I was just at that aquarium. I looked at those sharks with everyone just hours prior. Everything felt all too surreal in this moment, and I suddenly wished I had my phone to text Eleanor and Teo to see if they saw the news. With my heartbeat still hammering loudly in my chest, I end up unconsciously turning the television off to avoid hearing more heavy topics. Seeing all of this recent talk of gore and murder on TV, it makes me feel... I don't like it. Thinking about all this gory violence and death, it makes me feel uneasy. In fact, it was one of the reasons why I left the city in the first place. Prior to moving to Corland Bay, I had always been surrounded by petty crimes, selfish buttholes who called themselves my friends, and even the stench of death. Moving here had been a good decision at the start, but now, I'm not so sure. Everyone would always say that nothing bad ever happens in the Bay, but after recent events, it was slowly becoming untrue. But I suppose it wasn't all bad. I have supportive friends now, and an amazing boss and coworker, and a timid library patron who goes to great lengths to keep me safe. Man, I guess I never really appreciated Ren's thoughtfulness until this moment. He's done so much for me these past few days, and not once has he asked for anything in return. As if manifesting him with my thoughts, I hear the telltale signs of the front door unlocking before Ren shuffled inside and flicks on all the lights. He's like, why are you sitting in the dark, you little emo kid? In one of his hands was my beloved phone, alongside a bag of delicious smelling takeout, and an angelfish plushie peeking out from another. Aww. And almost like a puppy, Ren immediately makes his way over to me, still perched on the couch, before depositing the toy in my hands. Sleepy? Are you sitting in here without any lights? Sorry, I should have turned them on before I left. But, I brought some food with me. I figured you might be hungry. I don't really have much food in the pantry right now. Also, well... Ren looks as though he has something deeply serious he wants to say, and I had some kind of inclination as to what it might be. Something happened at the aquarium, Sleepy. You might want to... Actually, maybe we should move this conversation to the kitchen? I already know, Ren. You do? About... Yeah, I saw on the news, so it's true then. Someone really did die? I didn't really stick around to find once the cop car pulled up, but... I don't know. Something doesn't add up. I'm telling you, Ren actually is like just as confused as we are. He's like, he's stalking us, yes, but he's actually like not. He's actually not killing anyone. He's actually like, it's odd. I don't know. What do you mean? Ren looks conflicted with what he wants to say. Well, I didn't exactly stop to look, but I didn't see any dead bodies in there. Look, I know we said some incriminating things today, but I swear, oh yeah, it wasn't serious, and Angel, I would never, I could tell Ren was taking this hard with how he wouldn't meet my gaze and his shoulders seemed to shake. I wasn't the one who killed them. Them? Is there plural? It's okay, I believe you. You do? It was like a weight was taken off his shoulder, and without thinking, I find myself stepping closer to bring Ren into a comforting hug. I know you, Ren. You would never hurt a fly. Girl, we literally... Anyway. I saw what happened on TV. They fell into that tank. The reporters say it was a self-inflicted accident. Man, you really are an angel. I can feel his hands clench around the back of my shirt before he pulls away with a forlorn expression. He attempts to put on a smile for my sake, though I could see right through it. Here, why don't we eat something to get our minds off this? Are you feeling up to it? I know this might be a lot for your stomach, right? Yeah, some food might be nice. Great, let me get some plates so we can eat then. As Ren lifts himself from the back of the sofa, he makes sure to hand my cell phone back to me as well before heading off towards the kitchen. Now reunited with my beloved phone once more, I unlock it and check for any notifications. One updated in particular lets me know that the security camera I ordered had been successfully delivered, and that alone makes me feel safe enough to return to my apartment. Should I change my mind about staying here? With a satisfied hum, I quickly pocket my phone, lest I lose it again, and follow Ren into the kitchen. I watch as he turns on all the lights in there as well before he places the takeout on the countertop and stops to sniff the air. Uh-oh. What's that smell? Oh crap. I forgot about the ink I hastily threw away in the trash. In retrospect, I should have probably flushed it down the toilet or something instead. That's what I was thinking. I was like, it's toilet paper. Just flush it. No evidence. Flush it twice, and then that way the ink won't be there no more. Haha. Oh, about that. Oh, right. I noticed something funky smelling as well. I must have stepped in something bad earlier. Sorry. That's a full lie. That's not a white lie. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Actually, you know what? I don't think I can smell anything weird at all. Ren. Yep, everything smells perfectly normal to me. I watch in horror as his carefree smile fades the moment he opens the trash can to throw away some rubbish. I'm certain he notices the inky toilet paper sitting on top of the pile, and it feels like an eternity before Ren's gaze moves from the trash to land on me instead. I feel like a child getting... He's just like... I'm sorry. He still doesn't seem to react though, and before my guilty conscience can eat me alive, Ren's voice breaks the silence. I guess I forgot to take out the trash this morning, too. Sorry you had to put up with that strong smell. What? He must have known, surely. He had every reason to call me out on my lie, yet he didn't. Instead, Ren seemed to take on the blame with yet another carefree smile. Oh, I feel bad. Forget it. Maybe it was some form of righteousness, but I find myself confessing the truth. I accidentally spilled some of your ink earlier. You... what? Food now long forgotten. Ren rounds the corner within seconds and peers down at me with soft eyes. Are you okay? It didn't stain you, did it? Let me see. He was still so concerned about me? I watch as Ren reveals one of his hands from within the sleeves of his cardigan to hold and inspect my own. His blue eyes are full of concern as I feel the rough pads of his thumbs caress my skin. Once again, I'm reminded of the ring on his finger, and I can't help but ask. That ring, it must be special to you, huh? My ring? Ren follows my gaze to his hand before awkwardly pulling away and scratching at his jaw. Yeah, it's a ring I made when I was younger. I'm surprised you noticed it. This ring, I don't know what I'd do if I lost it. It's very pretty. What about the one around your neck? That's... Ren clams up the moment I meekly reach out to touch it and stares down at me with wide, cautious eyes. His own fingers wrap around my wrist, though he makes no effort to remove my hand from his necklace. In fact, he only seems to hold them in place as he peers at me. Feigning confidence, I run my finger across the cold metal of his ring and take it in all the small details. Much like the ring on Ren's fingers, the one around his neck also had a handmade feel to it. If the faint scratches and chips were anything to go by, though the craftsmanship was no less impressive, there also seems to be some kind of inscription inside the ring, but it was difficult for me to read due to the glare coming from the kitchen light. Part of me wants to pull it closer for a better view, though I doubt it'd be a good idea to yank Ren down by his necklace. Especially considering how he was already hunching over enough as it is. Still, I couldn't stop my budding curiosity from putting one of my fingers inside the ring to see if it fit. And almost immediately, Ren stumbles forward as his fingers gently squeeze my wrist. Do you want to try it on? Before Ren can speak, a loud booming sound erupts from outside the apartment and startles both of us. Man, was it seriously about to start raining again? With a sigh, I abruptly pull away and glance at one of the large ceiling-to-floor windows. She better to be. Dark clouds were rolling in from the distance, though there weren't any telltale signs of rain yet. Though the ominous black smoke was new. I didn't know that condensation got this bad. We weren't even that high up for fog to appear. Was this some kind of sign? Still, it wouldn't do to be stuck waiting for yet another storm again, so I glance in Ren's direction and offer a sympathetic smile. Maybe I should head home before it starts raining. Ha! Stay the night! We're breaking rules! It's probably best for me to just wait out the storm somewhere safe. If Ren was willing, I wouldn't mind spending the night here. Actually, would it be okay if I crash at your place tonight? His gaze was still on the black smoke outside the window, and it took a gentle nudge to mention his name to get Ren's attention once more. Why is it... I haven't done any... Oh, I mean, yes, of course, it's no problem. I'll go get your stuff set up right now. Here, go ahead and start eating while I go prepare your room. Thanks, Ren. It's great that I can rely on you for anything. I mean, yeah, of course. You can rely on me to keep you safe. I'm telling you, his accent, he keeps popping. We gonna see. His cheeks immediately flushed at my words, and I could tell that something was still troubling him. It was the ink. Though before I get the chance to ask, he's already leaving the kitchen and meandering down the hallway. Just as Ren passes by the couch, I notice his gaze shifts to his little art station hidden in the corner of the lounge room. He casts a curious glance in my direction before taking a step towards it. Was that where you spilled the ink? Sorry, I didn't mean to. And it wasn't like I was going through your stuff, I only looked at the table, I promise. I see, so that explains why it's... With an unreadable expression, Ren switches from looking impassive to determined in a matter of seconds. He reaches for something on the table, though it was hard to see what it was from. Where I was sitting in the kitchen. You keep on eating, I'll join you shortly. And with that, he disappears into the darkness of his apartment. Deciding there is no use in overthinking his eccentric reactions or dwelling over the fact that I got caught red-handed for being nosy, I pick up a fork and begin to dig into my food. The taste of something both sweet and savory floods my taste buds and I let out a pleased hum. Man, was takeout always this good? It only takes 3 more modest bites before I practically scarfed down my meal. The flavor was immaculate and I made a mental note to ask Rin what exactly he ordered the moment he returns. But now that I think about it, it's been a while since he left and Rin still hasn't come back yet. It'd surely been more than 20 minutes by now, and his food was starting to grow cold. Was he really mad after all? Or maybe he needed help? Whether or not it was the guilt still ebbing and flowing inside of me, I put my food aside and tried to locate the eccentric guy in his stupidly large apartment. But as I tiptoed down the hallway, the same black smoke from earlier rolls out from underneath one of the doors, making my mind grow fuzzy and my legs feel like jelly. What the? Confused and slightly dazed, I lean against the wall for support and weakly call out Rin's name. What was happening to me? A lurching feeling settles within the pit of my stomach, and just before I topple over, strong, scarred arms reach out and catch me. Okay, so I went back to see if it would change if I chose Eleanor instead of Teo, but nothing changed, so carry on. Alright, let's tell Rennie Pooh we like him the most, because it's true. Ren lets out a shaky breath as his composure practically melts in front of me. His cheeks flush a deep red and he looks down with intense, love-struck eyes before he closes them and rests his forehead against my own. But the action was fast fleeting as his head eventually drops into the crook of my neck instead, and his hands remain against the shelf behind me. Me? You really like me the most? Fuck. Sorry, I need a second. Ren? Ren? He doesn't seem to respond. Instead, he simply stays rooted in place while his breath fans against my shoulder. Okay, so let's dissuade his behavior. We don't want him to murder Teo. Yet. Ren, that was really messed up. You shouldn't joke around like that, especially when it involves my friends. I was only kidding, Angel. Really, I wouldn't actually do something like that. His blue eyes widen at that, and I can tell from his expression that Rin really was being sincere in this moment. Sorry, it was a stupid thing to say. I won't ever do it again, promise. Cross your heart? And hope to... no, I mean... Wait. I really need to start thinking before I speak. I was partially to blame for setting Ren up like that, so I let him know by rolling my eyes and sending him a reassuring smile. Well, now that that's all sorted out, I think we should leave this dingy storage closet by now, don't you? Okay, so this is after we get home with Ren. We go home with Ren and we make sure that he went to go get our phone, and we knocked over the oil on his or the ink on his desk. So but we're watching the news. We're watching the news again. She's droning on about local happenings in Corland Bay before a familiar backdrop comes on the screen and captures my full attention. Oh? It looks like the upscale restaurant where Cohen and my other coworkers held my welcoming party. Everything still looks the same, except the main thing that holds my interest are the two people sitting in a quiet corner of the room. No way. I could easily make out the blonde patch of Eleanor's head. But what surprised me was the fact that Teo was there as well. I called it and I love it. I love it. I want this. I love this. In fact, he seemed all too happy to be in Eleanor's company, given how he was casually leaning into his chair with a lazy smirk on his face. Was he enjoying himself? But more importantly, they were still on a date? Call Eleanor. Send her a girl text. That's not possible. Teo and Eleanor? Teo? Mr. Non-committal himself? I was certain today's outing had only been for his enjoyment, yet why did he genuinely look happy to be on a date with Eleanor? Slapping my hands against my cheeks, I bring myself to my senses. I was so caught up on Teo that I almost forgot another major factor. Eleanor! She's the most sweetest, caring person I know, and she could make just about anyone soften up to her. I wouldn't put it past Teo to realize that and possibly open up as well. But still, it certainly wasn't what I was expecting, and so soon too. Yay! The news reporter soon returns and continues on about some planned renovations happening to that restaurant, right before it switches to pre-recorded broadcasts about a recent murder in the city. The mere mention of New Salivus has me curling in disgust, and I have half the mind to change the channel or turn the TV off altogether. Okay, so let's be honest. I figured it'd be best if I simply come clean. Whew, after all, Ren didn't deserve to be lied to, much less have a guest he trusted snoop through his belongings while he was away. Man, if only I could say the same thing about my stalker. Before I can dwell on it any further, Ren's worried look pulls me from my thoughts and back to the present. Well, here goes nothing. I accidentally spilled some of your ink earlier. You... what? Okay, let's go home instead of staying the night. Yeah, it's probably best for me to go home before the storm gets any worse. I still had to go to work tomorrow anyway. Thanks for today, but I should probably start heading back now. Oh, it's really no problem. Here, why don't I put your food in another bag and drop it off? Are you sure? I don't want to be a bother. You've never been a bother. You'd never be a bother to me. Tapping the table, Ren pushes himself up and he sets off to find somewhere to put my takeout in. Tapping the table, Ren pushes himself up and sets off to find something to put my takeout in. What did I do to deserve someone as kind as Ren? With a smile of my own, I get up from the stool and I slowly make my way towards the entrance once more, but not before throwing Ren one final compliment. It's great that I can rely on you for anything. Oh no, the heart's in his eyes. I mean, of course. The ride back to my place was nothing short of ominous. The looming clouds on the horizon made the scenery seem dark and eerie. But thankfully Ren and his pastel-colored hair were there to brighten things up. He even offered to walk me to my door, and what greeted the both of us was a single package on my doormat. Panic flashed through me at the thought of it being another gift from my supposed stalker, but then I remembered the purchase I made this morning and the notification I received on my phone. Ah, that must be my security cameras. Deftly, I pick it up under my arms as I fish my keys out of my pocket. I can sense Ren's eyes on me, or rather, my package, but even as I glance in his direction, I can tell he's trying to hold himself back from asking. Surely there wouldn't be any harm in telling him. Oh, I bought this security system this morning because of how shady this neighborhood is. I figured it'd be a good idea to be safer than sorry. That creep didn't come back, did they? Without thinking, I drop my keys and slap a hand over Ren's mouth before cautiously looking over my shoulder. He must have seen the look of confusion on my face since he continues talking. Setting up your cameras. I mean, I'm pretty good with tech. I guess you could say I'm a programmer of sorts. It's programming this world. I'm sure I can figure it all out, plus it'd save you a call to someone to install them. He did have a point, and I'd honestly feel safer if I weren't alone tonight. Still, I'd been spending so much time with Ren lately, and I didn't want him to get fed up with me in my presence. I watch as he awkwardly shuffles into the hallway, almost uncertain if he should come inside or not. He moves to take off his shoes, and I watch in awe as he neatly stacks them next to the umbrella rack. I just kicked my shoes off. Oh, are you the type to leave your shoes on at home? Sorry, No, you're fine. Oh, he was really adorable. Girl, take your shoes off in the house. You do not wear your outside shoes in the house. Don't bring them streets in my house. I guess it's your house. No, it's my house. It's our house. Putting the small talk aside for a moment, I usher the pink-haired person into my living room and situate ourselves on the couch. Ren wastes no time opening my package, placing all the bits and pieces on the table, and setting off to work. Though every so often he'd sneak a peek in my direction whenever he thinks I'm not looking. Did he want something? Raising an eyebrow, I send him a silent question. I don't mean to pry into your personal life, but you know you're always welcome to stay in my apartment. I know, the red line told me not to. I mean, you've seen my place already, and you're always welcome to stay, especially if it's an emergency. I'd honestly sleep better at night knowing you're safe. If that happens, you'd be safer at my place. The lobby is full of security, and they won't let anyone upstairs without proper clearance. Plus, I don't have rats. Rats? Where's this coming from? I know I've been spending a lot of time with Ren recently, but I still wasn't that familiar with him. And sure, did invite a total stranger over to my place on a whim, but I wasn't going to be swayed just because I felt indebted to Ren. I went through the days just to double check and make sure that I got all of the little nitbits that I could. So, this is me just outright saying, alright, I'll go on the date. Instead of being like, no, I don't want to go on the date with Taylor. The rest of my shift passes by uneventfully, and at some point, Eleanor informs me that Kiara had to leave for a work-related matter and wouldn't be coming back for a few days. She even asked Eleanor to give me her number as well, alongside mentioning something about sharing more embarrassing stories about little Nori the next time we talk. Whatever that meant. I made a mental note to get something for Kiara as well before pocketing the pen next to Cohen's number and packing my belongings for the day. But as I'm slipping out of the library store, I notice a familiar broad backside, a patch of blonde hair, and a bright red Hawaiian shirt standing near the alleyway's entrance. Hello, three beautiful human beings. As if sensing my presence, Leon turns around and greets me with one of his familiar warm smiles. Good day, Dar. Been a while. He sends me a toothy grin before making space for me within the group. Eleanor greets me with a delicate wave, and Teo looks moderately annoyed, as usual. Teo was just introducing me to Eleanor and yarning on about this little outing he has planned. Hey, how come you never told me you've never been to the aquarium before? Makes sense, though. I reckon it was built a bit after you left the bay, right? So I doubt you had time to check it out. Pretty much. Most of my free time has been taken up with moving and unpacking boxes. I couldn't help but feel myself agreeing with his words. It was crazy how Leon seemed to know me so well, even though we hadn't had the chance to speak to each other like this in a while. But I'm curious to see what it's like. What about you, Nori? I couldn't help but like Kiara's nickname for her slip. Oh, yes, I'm the same. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'd never been to the aquarium before, so this should be fun. Well, it's hoping the weather will be more lenient tomorrow. It was pouring down buckets yesterday, wasn't it? Did you make it home alright, sunfish? All of a sudden, that eerie feeling comes back and I resist the urge to turn around and look behind me. I only now noticed that I had my back to the dark alley this entire time. Sleepy? Sorry, what was that? You're alright, you look like you've seen a ghost. I watch as Leon looks behind me before glancing at Teo and Eleanor for what seems like reassurance. No, it's nothing, I guess. I guess I've had a long day at work. No, I get it. Feeling tired. You should head on home then. Please, don't let us keep you longer than we should. Want me to drop you off? Car's out front. As much as I appreciated everyone's concern, I honestly wanted to be left alone right now to clear my head, and going on a walk would surely do me wonders. Besides, it was still somewhat bright out, and there were people around, so I had no reason to worry about my non-existent stalker. I also heard that some new merchandise arrived at the local manga store, which I had been meaning to check out. That would surely help get my mind off things. It was along my route home anyway. What harm could possibly come from a quick detour? At the thought, I quickly placate everyone's concern before bidding my goodbyes and heading alone down the street. It wasn't until I got far away enough from the library the eerie feeling started to dissipate. I wonder if it's Cohen. I wonder if it's Cohen. I really do. The nostalgic smell of comic books and plastic greets me as I enter the all too familiar manga store, and I immediately beeline my way towards the anime aisle. Anime aisle! Anime aisle! I was set on collecting the last remaining accessories for my mini Attack on Giants display, and I wasn't about to let my paranoia get in the way of that dedication. As I was passing through a few of the aisles, I noticed a familiar shade of pink near the cashier. Is that red? Wait, look at the little... Did he get a new tattoo? What does that say? That says Angel. Yeah. That's Editor Sleepy. Zoom in on that tattoo. Because I'm pretty sure it says Angel. Yeah, I didn't even notice his motorbike out front. If he even brought it. Up until now, I always assumed he walked everywhere. And even though he was wearing a mask and had his hair tied back, I could easily make out his large and lanky frame anywhere. He has ear piercings. Give my man some dangly earrings, please. And what is that? 10. That's the Roman numeral for 14 on his mask. And I was like Final Fantasy 14, but I was like, no, 14 days with you. Sneaking closer, I noticed how he appeared to be in a hushed conversation with the manager about something confidential. If their closeness was anything to go by, before he places a thick manila envelope in her hands and leans back. Oh, I wonder what's inside. Was Rin trading in some old manga? Ooh, what if it's Attack on Giants? Though, if it is Attack on Giants, then I'm not really sure why he would need to trade them in. With how popular the franchise is currently, there isn't much of a higher demand. If anything, there's too much consumable media being produced right now. Everywhere I go, all I see is Haruko. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And speaking of my beloved Haruko, now that I get a better look at Ren, isn't that the limited edition spring Haruko hoodie? I thought they weren't selling them anymore. Still it. That's what boyfriends are for. But just as I'm about to make myself known to ask questions, Rin is already turning on his heel and slipping behind the large racks filled with cosplays and gaming theme apparel. Come back here. His height does him no favors though, as I watch his head peek out from the top while he bobs and weaves his way towards the side entrance. At that very moment, my phone decides to jump scare me by suddenly going off. and it startled me enough to temporarily forget about Ren. Letting out a string of curses, I reach into my back pocket and pull it out, only to see Moth's name flash on the screen. With a grin, I accept the video call and hold the phone up to my face. Hey, listen. Now isn't a really good time to talk, but... Moth... Wait, let me get out the way. Moth is so cute. They're so cute. They're so cute. Oh no. Oh no, that's terrible. Well, get soon, or sorry for your loss, or whatever. Anyway, listen. Guess who won an all-paid holiday trip overseas? That's me. That's who. It's been a while since I'd last seen Moth's face, but they apparently just as boisterous as I remember them. And for free too. I mean, okay, yeah, I still need to pay for food and stuff, but... Hey, where are you? I'm in the manga store. Hold on, can we backtrack for a second? You got a free ticket? To where? Is that a Haruko figurine? Can you get it for me? Please, 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 please. Moth. I'll pay you back, please. I'll pay for shipping too. It's so cute. I fear this is me. ADHD, just, I can't stay on topic. It's fine. I jump from topic to topic. Look at his little outfit. Look at his tiny little jacket and his tiny little shoes. With an eye roll, I reached behind me for the figurine, but not before picking up the accessories I originally came in for, and slowly make my way towards the cash register. Once Moth's hoots and hollers calmed down, I gently try to coax them back into the original topic. Alright, you asked where I'm going? Well, it's actually a surprise. Seriously? A good surprise, though. Hey, you're still in Cora. For a brief moment, their screen starts to lag and a loading symbol pops up. Moth? But, that okay with you? Their voice cuts in and out, giving an almost robotic effect before the screen eventually fades to black. With a heavy sigh, I end the call and shoot Moth a text to let them know that they got disconnected yet again. But as I absent-mindedly look out the window, I notice a blurry outline of Ren's figure sitting on a bench outside, busying himself with what looked like his phone in his hands. Next! The cashier's voice pulls me away from my thoughts, and I quickly pay for my purchases, all while sparing not-so-secretive glances at Ren from beyond the shop window to make sure he's still there. It was strange, but I couldn't help but hope I'd get a chance to catch up with him on the way out. I know it had only been more than a day since I last saw him, but I still wanted to thank him for the date he took me on yesterday. The cashier pulls my attention away by holding me a bag and receipt. I give them my thanks before making a beeline towards the exit. Winnykins! But just as the door swings open, I notice Ren had already left. Renny Pooh. He was no longer on the bench where I last, and I couldn't spot him on either end of the street either. It was like he was never there in the first place. I almost find myself wondering if I had imagined the whole thing. I was starting to see him everywhere, anyway, and it was beginning to come across as creepy. But Corland Bay isn't that big of a coastal town in retrospect, so I'm sure we were bound to run into each other again sooner or later. I mean, I literally met Ren at my own workplace because we shared a few common interests in books. His just so happened to be about native flora. That kind of stuff wasn't something either of us could control, and I most likely was looking too deep into it. Still, it felt strange all the same. Oh well, there's no use dwelling over it. I still had Ren's number saved in my contacts anyway, so I could always shoot him a text or even call if I really started to miss him. Hey baby cakes, I miss you. It was beginning to get dark once I arrived back at my apartment complex, so I quickly ushered my way up the staircase and onto my floor. But as I'm making the long trek up the stairs, I bump into someone lingering around the corner and almost end up tumbling down. Whoa! Hey, watch it! Glancing up, I noticed that it's the cashier from yesterday who was glaring daggers at me while I tried to steady myself with the railing. That was Olivia, wasn't it? She makes no effort to help me, though she doesn't move to the side in order to give me space at the top of the stairs. It's then when I take notice of the giant basket of laundry in her arms, and it makes me wonder if she's actually gonna carry it all the way to the laundromat by herself. Clearly, she was stronger than she looked. Is that important? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Olivia cuts herself off once the severity of the situation finally sinks in, before she sucks in her cheek and lets out an exasperated chuckle. Seriously? What could she possibly find so funny about this situation? Of all places, a staircase. Oh, because he said he would push her down the stairs. Of all places, a staircase? Really? Your boyfriend sure has a messed up sense of humor. What? No, it's nothing. Look, I didn't mean to knock you down the staircase like that. I've got a lot on my mind lately and I wasn't looking where I was going. Yeah, hey, it happens. It most certainly didn't. But Olivia seemed to be having a rough day, so I wasn't going to make things worse by being rude to her. She already looked on edge for some reason, especially with how she kept sneaking glances at both of our shoulders. It was almost like she was looking for something, and I would have asked her about it if she didn't beat me to it. So, where's that boyfriend of yours anyway? Not lurking around the corner like a creepy psychopath, is he? Who? Seriously? Your boyfriend? The guy you visited the souvenir shop with the other day? Oh, Ren? He's not my boyfriend. We're just... I've never seen that man a day in my life. His feelings would be hurt. Yeah, he's my boyfriend. Great. No need to rub it in my face. And why are you so indecisive? Either he's your boyfriend or he's not. Honey bun. You know what? I'm not even sure why I'm having this conversation with you. Forget it. I'm in a rush, so please move. Clearly done with the conversation, Olivia sidesteps me and makes her way down the stairwell, but she only manages to get a few feet away before she turns around once more. Resting her laundry basket on a hip, she looks up at me with an unreadable look. You live on this floor as well? Then it looks like we're going to be seeing each other more often. But just some neighborly advice. If you plan on bringing Ren around, keep it down. I'm not afraid to file a noise complaint. I mean, what do you mean, Olivia? We wouldn't be that loud. I would. And with that, she disappeared around the corner. What was all that about? Deciding it wasn't worth my time to mull it over, I slowly make my way towards my apartment. Not bothering to turn on my lights, I toss my keys onto the tray, shrug off my jacket, and unceremoniously drop myself onto the couch. Today had been a whirlwind of events and emotions, and the worst part was that it still hadn't ended yet. I still had an hour or so left before to consider any dinner plans, so I figured I might as well spend the evening winding down in the meantime. All too quickly, an idea pops into my head, and I reach over to grab my phone. Can I invite somebody over? I mean, yeah, let's get some rent on day 3. Figuring it'd be best to catch up with someone instead of stewing in my apartment alone, I pull up my contacts list and idly scroll through it. Cohen's number immediately catches my attention, being the newest addition to my contacts and sitting near the top of my list, before my curiosity begins to stray once more. Without so much hesitating, I tap on that person's number and bring the phone closer to my ear. Okay, that's gonna be a short little video. We're gonna do that another time. We'll call Ren. Odd. I don't remember scrolling all the way down to view his contact details. Nevertheless, I find myself typing on Ren's name. I did. And bringing the phone closer to my ear. He picks up almost immediately, and I can practically feel the excitement and wildflowers expel from the screen and hit me in the face. And before I know it, Ren is agreeing to come over as soon as he can, So I quickly turned the lights back on and cleaned the place up a bit and anticipate his arrival. I love him. That's all we need to know. Barely 10 minutes passed before... Why'd it get so much brighter? Barely 10 minutes passed before I hear a loud knocking at my front door. Almost immediately, I leaped to my feet and unlock it with a smile. Ren! Hey, come on in! I see you're still wearing my hoodie. I, also brought some takeout with me, if that's okay. I figure you hadn't had a chance to eat yet. You know what? He might be a little crazy, but we can marry him. I don't see the issue. Whoa, how'd you know? It's like you can read minds or something. Ren! Ren! Why'd you do that? Okay. Barely registering the look on his face, I gently coaxed Ren into my living room. He makes himself at home on my couch and bring a few utensils from my kitchen for the food he so kindly brought. Oh, by the way, were you at the manga store earlier today? I thought I saw you there. Yeah, I know you did. I mean, because I saw you as well. After I left, I noticed you through the window. Well, that seemed to confirm my thoughts about Ren sitting outside the store. Stabbing my fork into the food, I take a bite and let out a pleased hum from all the delicious flavors dancing on my tongue. Really? You should have said hi. I thought about it, but you seemed really focused on something. And then you got a call, so... yeah. That was my friend Moth. Oh, that reminds me, Ren. At that, his full attention was immediately on me. Takeout long forgotten as the taller male moves in his seat to face me. You like Attack on Giants too, don't you? I mean, your hair and outfit. It was inspired by Haruko, right? I know I must have been coming on a bit strong, but Ren and I have been getting to know each other a bit better over the past few days, and somehow, I knew he wouldn't freak out as much if he knew about my more nerdy side. Sparing a glance at Ren, he seemed to be handling this well enough, if the interested yet curious look on his face was anything to go by. In fact, Ren seems almost on the edge of his seat with how intently he's staring at me. He must really be interested in Haruko as well to garner this sort of reaction. In some way, it was comforting to know we shared a few more similar interests. Haruko is actually one of my favorite characters at the moment. He's been for a while now, actually. Oh, but that's not the point. The point is, Moth loves Haruko too. I can introduce you guys. They're a die-hard fan of anime, and I'm sure they... Oh, Moth is the one who's interested? Almost shyly, he turns his head away and meekly scratches at his jaw. I don't mind, but... I wasn't expecting Ren to be so... hesitant. And I suddenly felt bad for bringing this all onto him without considering how he might feel as well. Sorry, no need to force yourself if you don't want to. That's okay. I just thought it'd be nice to let them have someone else to talk to, you know? Moth has trouble making friends, and most of the time they're only talking to me. Yeah, that's too bad. He sends me a sad look coupled with a frown before turning to the plate of food before him. Although I was thinking about Moth, I really didn't want to force Ren into befriending someone he didn't want to. Besides, maybe he has trouble forming friendships too. It was a little difficult trying to keep up with his sudden personality shifts, but at this point in our friendship, I was starting to get used to it. Deciding to lift the mood a little, I tried to change the subject onto something more lighthearted. So, apparently, this place has rats. Really, Sleepy? This was the first thing you could think of? How was this any less awkward than what you were currently... Actually, I didn't want to say anything, but... I think I saw one on my way up here. It probably made itself a home in that busted elevator shaft. Seriously? Wait, do you think you could come with me to explain it to my landlord? I swear Your landlord isn't doing anything about it? No! I collapsed on the sofa with a dramatic sigh. I honestly don't know what they're doing, if I'm being honest. I've sent so many complaints, but haven't received a reply for any of them. Really? Have you considered just moving? Quite a few times, actually, but location is nice. This place has its charm. My neighbor is friendly. I'm not sure what I like. Well, everything was a little overwhelming in the beginning, but my neighbor was nothing but kind to me when I first moved in, and she always has the best afternoon snacks. I see. Then it's not so bad after all, right? I mean, as long as there's no creep trying to break in and steal all of your laundry or something. He's just Ren, baby, you're doing it again. You're incriminating yourself. You're incriminating yourself again, Ren. You've got a point there. I think I'd take the rats over laundry stealing intruder any day, but now that I think about it, who would want to break in and steal dirty clothes? While I'm sure Ren only meant it as a joke, it was oddly specific. Oh, I just figured that's what normal creep behavior would be. You have a great sense of fashion, and I see your TV is still here, so... Yeah, I guess it would be difficult to lug it down the staircase. They probably should ask the rats for help. Get with the rats! Leave me alone! I couldn't help but let out a laugh at his Courtney inside joke. Wait, since when did we have our own inside jokes? Now that I really thought about it, the banter I shared with Ren seemed very easygoing as of late, despite how serious the topics were supposed to be. I had been worrying all day about this supposed stalker, yet here I was, casually brushing it off with a carefree joke. Still, is everything alright with your neighborhood? I've heard about the murders going on recently. Well, no one I know has gone missing, yet. So I suppose that's good, right? I won't lie though, it is kinda scary knowing that there's a killer out there. Yeah, I suppose so. But are you really okay with staying here alone? Doesn't that scare you? I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm fine. I've got my neighbor, Violet, and if it's really necessary, I'm sure I could stay with Leon for a while and... Say, you could always stay with me instead. I mean, you've already stayed the night at my place, so it wouldn't be a bother for you to come back over again. I'd honestly sleep better at night knowing you're safe. As if picking up on my sudden silence, he clears his throat, gesturing towards the food on the table and scoops up a giant forkful. Anyway, we should finish this before it gets cold. Oh, yeah, you're right. Deciding to ease the tension once more, I speak the first thing that comes to mind as I stab my fork into the container as well. I guess I'll do the suggested. Can you pass the sauce? With a nod, Ren reaches for the dipping sauce to his left and hands it to me. Our fingers accidentally brush and I can't help the slight tinge of pink that blooms in my cheeks. Ren seems to be sporting a similar look of his own before he awkwardly clears his throat and goes back to eating. Sorry. Ren said I want a slow burn. The casual banter continues throughout dinner, and soon enough all the containers are empty and our stomachs were full. I dim the lights and switch the TV on at some point to fill the silence between our conversations, and soon enough, Ren and I found ourselves taking an interest in a movie that was currently playing. It was some unknown sappy romance that came out almost a decade ago, yet Ren seemed to not mind all that much. I wasn't following the plot too keenly, but from what I could gather, the male lead just confessed his love to the main character in the back of her truck. Ooh. To top it all off, it started to rain as some slow, melodic love song came on the radio. The two characters were all too happy to share a sweet kiss with each other in that romantic moment, but the tenderness soon was cut short once the scene starts to travel down a more heated path. Oh, okay. The kisses become more passionate, and before I know it, I'm watching the main character lean across the center console to sit in her lover's lap instead. Clearly, I wasn't expecting this to happen in what I falsely believed was a harmless rom-com, so I dared to glance in Ren's direction to gauge his reaction. You blushing, Renny boy? Yeah. Yet, aside from the faint dusting on his pink cheeks, the rest of him seems all too relaxed. There's an arm casually thrown over the back of the couch while the rest of his body is slouched into the plushness of the seat. His lanky limbs are stretched out in front of him, while his thighs are spread out slightly. And the empty space between his legs was beginning to look inviting for some reason. Was it because of the movie? Before I can stop myself, I find my mind wandering. No, we're gonna keep watching the movie. We're watching the movie. What was I thinking? This movie was clearly messing with my head. Subtly, I slapped my cheeks and focused my attention back on the screen. But every so often, my gaze flickers back to Ren to see if he was feeling just as awkward as I was throughout the scene, and it seems I was right. It's almost painful watching him awkwardly clear his throat a few times until his interest ultimately shifts towards my wall instead. Ren! I also feel the urge to look away once the couple starts to get even more handsy with each other. And when it starts to become too much to bear, I impulsively change the channel. The monotone voice droning on about weather fills the silence, and I feel the couch move as Ren shifts in his seat. That was... Yeah... They're really going at it, huh? Jeez, I can't believe it's somehow even more awkward now. But just as I'm about to do something about it, Ren awkwardly clears his throat and moves to stand up. It's getting a bit late now, isn't it? I should probably start heading home soon. Oh, are you sure you can stay a bit longer? No, I really should go, because we might end up not wearing clothes. Now that I think about it, you need to wake up early, don't you? Yeah, actually. But how did you know that? Oh, you seem like the early bird type. He doesn't seem to elaborate on that and instead starts to pack his belongings and head towards the hallway. Deciding that was that, I walked Ren towards the front door with a soft smile on my face. Today had been a lot of fun thanks to him, and I was able to keep my mind off of the events that would ultimately transpire tomorrow. I was still unsure about Tao's intentions, but being with Ren helped me understand that maybe it was wrong of me to judge others so quickly. At first, I thought Ren was just some shy guy with a stuttering problem, but over a course of a few days, I've learned there's more to him than just that. He had some moments of confidence, and it was endearing to watch him stand up for things that he wanted. Perhaps I was being too harsh on Teo. Even he deserved a chance to redeem himself. I suppose I'll get the chance tomorrow. Sleepy? Sorry? Crap, I really need to stop spacing out like that. I asked if you wanted me to lock the door for you. It suddenly hit me like a ton of bricks. I was still standing in the hallway while Rin was waiting for me at the door. So I quickly rushed over to him with a flushed expression. Sorry, I was just busy thinking. I can lock it, thanks though. You do that a lot. It's cute. Stop. Stop. I almost rolled my eyes at his words as I leaned against the front door and watched Ren awkwardly shuffle on my doormat. Thanks for today, and sorry for taking up so much of your time. Not at all. Thank you for coming over. Get home safe, okay? Ren's eyes seemed to light up the moment I voiced my concern over him. Yeah, okay. I will. You too, or I mean, you're already at home, so go to bed safe or sleep safe. Sleep well? What am I? I can't help but chuckle at his panicked state, and Ren seemed to settle once he hears my laughter. Good night, Ren. Good night, Sleepy. I'll see you tomorrow. He's doing it again. He's digging himself into his own hole. I love him so much. The sound of the door shutting drowns out the end of his sentence. Did he say, I'll see you tomorrow? Once I had nothing else to do for the night, I get changed into some comfy pajamas and brush my teeth before settling into bed. The newest chapter for Always With You is going to drop in a few hours, and I figure I might as well stay up and read it before going to sleep. But my eyes were starting to get droopy, and all my mind could think about was the double date I had planned with Leon, Tayar, and Eleanor tomorrow. Man, I sure hope everything will be fine. But I know worrying about it isn't going to do me any favors, so I let my pent-up stress out on my pillow by smacking it to make it less lumpy. Though the moment I unceremoniously flopped back, I noticed a cold draft and the fact that my bedroom window was left wide open. Strange. I don't remember opening it earlier. With a groan, I get up from my bed to go and close it. Before I lock it shut, something moves from within the shadows and startles me. Squinting, I can barely make out the black mass moving through the gaps in the fire escape balcony. What was that? A person? It certainly wouldn't be strange for someone to take a cigarette break at this hour. But I couldn't smell any telltale signs of smoke. Maybe it was my landlord's cat for midnight stroll. The idea seemed more realistic in my mind. Yet, despite my futile attempts at calming myself down, I still somehow find the willpower to go back to the bed rather than opening the window once more and taking another curious peek outside. I didn't have a death wish, nor did I have the stupidity of those cliché horror film characters. But before I turn away, I double-check to make sure the window is locked shut and the blinds are fully closed. I wasn't about to risk it. Happy with the precautions put in place, I make a hasty dive towards the warmth and safety of my bed. Snuggled deep in my blankets, I find it harder and harder to think about someone breaking in, and even more so with keeping my eyes open. Before I know it, pink-colored sheep slowly filled my mind as I drifted away. So, today should be our last video for 14 Days with You.
So that was a fucking lie.